Yeah, in case you didn't know. So we will start in about 1 more minute. And I did want to thank people for being here. Thank you so much for joining us in our flex activities. Let's see. Kathleen, you hear an echo. Is your microphone on? Kathleen, maybe turn your mic off.
I don't know. I just adjusted my volume and that must be.
Maybe wait until I mute myself, and then maybe that'll help it too. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think, still people coming in. Hold on 1 sec.
Tony, that's a great t-shirt, man. You look good in it, baby.
Keep taking that 1 minute stretch, everybody.
Coach, be sure to kiss the man who gave it to me.
Would that be self-congratulations kiss there? All right, still more people, so hold on. We don't want to start without everybody being in here.
I like your background, Janelle. Is that virtual?
It's an actual thing. It's an actual thing. It's a screen.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
So now you have the best natural background. There is no doubt.
You know, Jennifer Ilias has the same one. I saw in her video.
It's so colorful, and it just makes the whole image pop. Of course, you make it pop. That's
Well,
that's a given. That's
Thank
a given. All right, I'm gonna start now. I think almost everybody's here who's gonna come. I'm gonna start. Can you all please mute yourself? That would be great. That would be really helpful. Can everybody mute themselves? There's a few people. I'll do my best to mute folks, but if we can all mute ourselves, it'd be a lot easier. A few people are still unmuted, so let's go ahead and mute, please. And I'm going to go ahead and start. Okay, so I would like to present our awesome Coach Beam here, Coach Beam in the house, who hopefully all of you, or at least most of you, have seen at least one episode of Last Chance U, giving Laney its fame. Not its fortune, unfortunately, but certainly its fame. And I'd love to start off asking you, Coach, how did Laney get chosen to be in this series? And how did they pick the particular participants that they were going to focus on, that they were going to follow throughout the course?
Sure. Before we go there, I just want to make for all of us, I'm sure, just reading yesterday, hearing about Renee, he was a wonderful man, and our college was really lucky to have him grace his time here. So I just want to say that to all of you publicly, but I know we all feel the same about Renee Rivas and what he meant. So, yeah. So anyways, if you've seen the first 2 shows, or first 4 series, they were in Mississippi and Independence, and they wanted to show California. They wanted to do something a little bit different. Both those places, the coaches were kind of new and different. They were, and I've been doing this for 40 years, so they wanted to try to do somebody with a little bit more longevity. And they wanted to do a city. And I think that, I got an email in January, right after we won the state championship, and someone said, hey, have you heard of us? Are you interested? And I remember asking my wife, my 2 daughters, and my wife's like, hey, no way. And then I remember asking my oldest daughter, she said, Dad, no way. My youngest daughter, like, Dad, you got to do it. You got to do it, And so we started, then I went back and started asking my staff, and I asked Sakai first, and Sakai was like, Beamer, bad move, don't do it. Then I asked all the football coaches, Coach Beam, we got to do it, we got to do it, we got to do it. So, it was kind of an interesting thing, but they sent me an email and asked me to call. So I called this number, and it's a bad number. So I figured I got pranked, and then I emailed the guy, hey, the number doesn't work. He goes, oh, my fault. I think
Uh-oh, Coach, I think you hit something that made you both freeze and mute. Are you there? Janelle, can you hear me? Okay. Oh, Coach, you
I can
froze?
hear you. It's
Okay.
it's on his end, Marla.
Okay, sorry,
Let's see.
gang.
There he is. He comes back.
Coach, we
I'm
didn't
back.
hear you for a minute. You're gonna have to backtrack about 1 minute.
All right. So anyways, once I finally I made the call.
Can't hear you, Beam.
Yeah, Coach, you're still muted for some reason. Are you hitting a mute button by accident? We can't hear you.
And then they when I talked to them later, the producer just said they knew right away that they wanted to be at Laney just because of the vibrance of our campus. They saw the diversity of our student athletes and our faculty. And they went to have lunch in Oakland somewhere, and they asked if anybody who knew John Beam, and like everybody asked, oh yeah, we know Coach Beam. So I guess that's kind of how they picked us. They picked the 4 gentlemen, young men. They didn't know, so they mic up about 10 or 12 guys to start the year out and try to figure out where the story was going to go. So when they're on campus, they have 3 camera crews every day. And the 3 camera crews is like 6 people per crew. So that's 18, 9 people right there. Then for every mic, there's a producer or somebody production assistant that listens to the conversation that's going on. And then they move the cameras wherever they think that the conversation's interesting. So Rob might have a mic on, and they'll look at, they like what he said, the cameras show up, or Sakai or Rick, the trainer, or whoever, and they just kind of followed it. And then they started hearing the stories that were developing. And then also, did they get on the field, right? There were some guys that had tremendous stories, but didn't get on the field very much. So they ended up picking the 4 men that they did. And I thought they did a good job. Those of you that watched it, I think those 4 young men really reflect what Laney does and what community college in general do, right? I mean, these are the stressors that our students have every day. And I think people needed to see that. We have housing insecurities, food insecurities. We have mental health issues. We have kids having kids, right? Navigating this thing, jobs, and for the world to see it. And I think that's real clear that you need to understand that. Netflix, this show,
John.
Yeah,
Coach. John, if you could hear us, why don't you take your video off?
Yeah, take your video off, John.
John, take your video off because you keep going in and out.
Take your virtual background off.
My virtual background?
Yeah, sorry, it's probably using up a lot of data.
Oh man, bummer.
They're missing the best parts.
Yeah,
they're going in and out.
All right, that better?
Well, give it a shot. I think it's probably going to be better.
All right.
So we missed that last sentence.
All right. So at last count, we had over 77 countries reach out to our website. We've had in the first 2 days of the last trailer, we had 200,000 people. I want to say it again, 200,000 people came to Laney College Athletics website. For Netflix itself, They don't give out the data, but right now we were up to number 3. We were trending at number 3, and we were in the top 10 for 2 weeks. That's worldwide. Worldwide, they have 200 million subscribers. That doesn't mean people watching. That just have an account, because we all share accounts, right? I know, right, Donald? You have an account and 5 people use it. So I think it's just amazing how many people were attracted to the show. And in the show, they talk about, I don't know anything about social media, right? So I now have social media. But on my Twitter account now, my guy was telling me I'm up over 10,000 followers on Twitter. And so, but the show, I think it resonated with people. I think it resonated. Football was the medium, really, but it was about human beings, right? It's our story. If you've heard me speak at the board in the past, I say Laney provides Laney athletics, Laney football, Laney college. We provide hope and opportunity for folks. And I think it's really important that we are that vehicle for people, right? They come to us from all different walks of life, all different things going on, and we're there for them. How many people just need someone to listen? They want someone to listen to them as they try to figure out, navigate their life at this point. And that's what I think the show put out there. The struggles. I mean, there were funny struggles. There were serious struggles. There were serious mental health issues going on. There was, and this is what I hope changes. And Donald and Vicky and some of you know this.
Coach, we can't hear you again. No, can't hear you. Coach, we can't hear you.
I'm good.
Oh, now you are.
Oh,
now you are.
Man,
Oh, you're out again. Your audio is out again. Talk. Just talk again. We can see you. We just can't hear you. Try to talk again.
There we go. Hey, you guys are back?
We're back. After this, Rob, help him with his.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's the internet. It's all the smoke and the fire, guys. That's what I'm thinking. Can
Coach,
you see me?
Yes.
We can see you, Coach.
Can you talk a little bit about also how was it having cameras around? Because I teach film, and how did that? Do you think that affected positively or negatively or anyway, having cameras around at all times, or certainly a lot of the time? How did that affect? Do you think that affected? Oh shoot! You're muted again. You're muted again. Try again. Try again.
Hey, Coach.
Yes.
I would leave the meeting and come back and see if that helps your connection. Maybe you just got a weird connection issue going on. So I would jump off and jump back on and see if it helps.
Or take the video off altogether.
Okay. While we're waiting, he's off and get back in a second.
Yeah, but you might need.
Here we go. One more time.
You might need the video off.
Yeah, the video.
Yeah. He just came back, so let's see.
Am I good now?
Coach, you're good. And if it goes bad, I think we might ask you to take your video off and just do audio.
Okay.
But
Dang.
so far, good.
I got a good hair day today, too. All right. So I guess what I was saying is that so there's so many people around you, and it's daunting, right? So originally, I think, Sakai, we were talking, Rob, that was going to be a couple guys with some handheld cameras, maybe a GoPro, and they showed with $100,000 cameras, and they've got production assistants and grips. They got people that just run around carrying water for each other. Yeah. Everybody's got an iPad. The mics you're wearing are like $20,000. So it's daunting, but what's interesting, I've been telling people, is that within a week or two, you're bearing your soul. They see everything, right? They show up at my house in the morning to watch my wife and I walk. They go to kids' houses. And so you open your soul to them, but within a week, they start opening their soul to us. One of the cameramen, right? I mean, he grew up right around the corner and went to Edna Brewer, and had a bad relationship with his dad, and he's explaining that to us. One of the producers, right, Sakai, knew people that you grew up with, right down at St. Liz. And so they become part of your family too. And so you become comfortable with them after a while. And, as you share stories with them. So I think that was, pretty cool about it all. So any other questions? Am I dead again?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh,
it's certainly touched a lot of people, as you said. I mean, to be in the top rated Netflix shows, in the top 5 even, is phenomenal. I mean, I teach media, and to be in that top 5 of such a major network that's streaming, such as Netflix, I mean, honestly, that's huge. So I'm wondering, I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how the students that we saw, how has that affected their lives, and how has that affected also people wanting to come to Laney next year to be in football?
Well, I think definitely our numbers are good for football. That's never been an issue. I think the key for one of the biggest things, I've been doing 3 or 4 interviews a day. I mean, I've been, one of the coolest things is like I was interviewed. They did a story on us, Dior and I, for the New York Times on the Sunday paper of the New York Times, a whole page. It's not just a column. It was the whole page. We were on Access Hollywood. We were on, Esquire magazine. And so one of the things that came out is that people have been really cognizant, proud that we talked about mental health and then how it affects our community, especially our young community of Black men. And Dior, he even talked about it, that unexpectedly, he didn't know he had mental health issues. He just knew he was going through stress. And many of us do that, right? We don't know, we put a name on or a label. And so for him, he's now becoming the spokesman for mental health. And it's actually been cathartic for him. He feels better about it, about what's going on. He can share a little bit about it. Obviously, him and my wife still talk and, as they go through things. But what else has happened, right, Rob, is interesting. It's some other players have reached out to my wife, to my wife, because they're going through stuff now with the COVID and the shutdown and the different things, right? And I think it's really important when Michelle Obama talks about low-level depression going on in her life, a woman who is very successful and in all outward appearances has everything that she needs, but yet feels this from everything that's happening. How do you think the students that we work with every day are feeling? And as instructors, as admin, or whoever you are on this campus, it is so important that we understand that what we offer is that ear and to help bridge that gap and point people in the right direction. That's what they're looking for right now. And in his case, with him and his wife and his 2 kids, people reached out. He's at Murray State now. People really talk to him about it and try to help him. But again, rules there, just like here, are prohibitive of him. Like someone wants to donate diapers for his wife, his daughters, and one daughter. And there's like, well, if you do it, then it could be an NCAA violation and you lose your scholarship for some Pampers, right? I mean, those are the things that we have to stop. We have to change. We have to understand that the people that we work with, the student athletes that we have at every level, need more than what we're giving them. And we cannot lose the ability to be human beings and do the things that human beings do. And unfortunately, they try to legislate that. And I think it's something that we need to really understand. And so RJ's the only one that hasn't found a school. He had a couple offers. He's still kind of trying to figure out the one he wants to. Ray's done really good. And the show was actually really good because Ray came back to me right after it came out. Dior and I saw the 8 episodes like 10 days before the things, because we were on this big circuit of interviews. So they wanted us to see it 10 days before it came out. But then Ray and I talked when it came out. He was like, Coach, was I that bad? Was I such an asshole? And I said, yeah, probably. But it's okay. You're going to learn from it, And these are what we do. We learn things. RJ talked about, well, Coach, they didn't film when I came and apologized for what I was doing and we hugged. I said, no, but that's okay. We all can learn. I know I can do a better job. And so those are the things that are the positives of it, right? We learn and we move forward and we bring attention to what we're doing. And that's what I think I wanted out of this. I know Vicky's on this. Vicky was a real proponent of us going on the show. Tamil had never seen the show, so she wasn't sure. And Vicky had seen all the other ones, says, yes, we got to do it. And we've got to show the things that, that we bring. And I think it's so important. I think at this time when Peralta is in the newspaper so much, with so much negativity, that this show can give people a different opinion of what we do and take the politics out of what we do and just go back to what we're really here for, which is the young people that we see and work with every day. That's what we need to be worried about, to me, and forget the politics. Let someone else handle that. That's just my 2 cents. How about guys asking me questions instead of me just talking?
Janelle had a question, and so did Donald. Janelle, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Well, I was, we talked, and I was just saying, just seeing you on the field, Coach was on my tenure review committee, and seeing him on the field was definitely different for me. You get kind of angry, Coach.
No. That wasn't anger.
Nah. But I just want to know, how was it for you to see? No, there was this one scene where you were yelling, and Derek starts walking on the field, and he turns back to you and says, "Count to 10." How was it for you to see yourself, coaching on the field? How do you feel you were portrayed in their edits?
I think it's who I am. I mean, Donald's seen me, some have been out there. I think that for me, I like to blow up so that I go home and feel good about myself, right? Like, I don't hold it in. I want to get it off so that we all can do it. And, I'm going to let people know how I feel, and I'm going to hug you up. But I'm going to tell you how I feel. And, and Derek's awesome, because think about this. I want you to think about it. Derek played for me. So I've known Derek since he was 14 years old. Right. And I've watched him grow, and I've been a mentor to him. Right. He'll tell you, his fat father wasn't around and all that. But now our roles get to switch. Right. So he can help me too. Right. I learn from Derek every day. And so that's the beauty of what we do. Right. The learning never stops. Right. And when it does. And I think one of the things when I was on your TRC, right, when we were having these discussions, sometimes I would tell you, go for it. Right. I didn't care. I mean, I believed in you to try, and if it didn't work, then we'll worry about it, right? And so that's what I hope I do with the students as well, So I don't know. I don't think I was that angry. Soon.
We have a question. Oh, sorry. There's a question from Donald, and then also Victor has a question. So then that's probably all we can take. We'll be done. But Donald, you want to go, and then Victor?
Yeah, thank you. John.
Yes.
What people don't understand about your program is you and your coaches' relationships all over the country to place these students, whether they don't play football or play not first level, not Division I, or maybe 2 or 3. And could you kind of explain, because what I see it as is what Luke was talking about. You follow through with all of these students and stuff, and that's why they know that you care, and that's also what builds your program up. And so a lot of people don't understand why you're on the telephone talking to a lot of these different colleges and keeping up with them by going to your different conferences and those kinds of things. And it's about relationship building that you have.
Yeah, I mean, I think when we recruit someone, we tell them, look, you come play for Laney, you come play for John Beam. It's a lifetime, right? And same thing when we find them, we try to talk about our kids that plan B needs to be plan A, right? That you got to have a plan before football even. And so you go all over the country, we use our professional development. We go to conferences, we meet as many coaches as we can. We get on the phone, we call all the time. And then when you're at that school, we're still going to be there for you. We're going to make sure that you're okay. We're going to, if I have to, I'll go down and visit you there if you're having some issues. And so that's part of it. I mean, the thing that was really interesting for all of you to understand this, I don't know, this makes sense. I've been teaching for 40 years, 30 of it in Oakland. When this show came out, I was getting contacted from people I taught in junior high at Frick in the early 80s. Janelle, you might not even have been born yet. In the early 80s. You hear what I'm saying? And they came out and they wrote me and said, look, Coach, you don't remember, but when this happened, I got jumped. You saved my life twice. And now this woman is now walking the red carpet. She was up for an Oscar, and that you made a difference in their life. The beauty is that when you stay in a community as long as I have, You have to be a part of the community. You have to be a fabric of it. You have to be a consistent presence, whatever that presence, even if it's angry, right, Janelle? It's got to be that you're there and you're consistent because they see you. That's what the show was really good for me, that all the connections I got back from people, not from strangers, but just the folks that I have taught. You know, someone I taught back my first coaching job in 1979 hit me up and said, Coach, you haven't changed. You still run around and do your push-ups all day. Yep, I still do. From when I was in my 20s and now in my 60s, I still do my push-ups every day.
Coach, we also have a question from Victor. Go ahead, Victor.
Okay.
Well, it's not so much a question as much as it's good to see you again, because I was your student at during the mid 90s and when you taught summer school at Berkeley High.
Okay, there you go.
And I also performed at one of your football games when we had the Chinese orchestra at one of the games. Yeah, and I have a very vivid memory of you were scolding my friend and I one time because we were play fighting. But at the same time, you gave me encouragement, and like we were play fighting, and you said, "Hey, stop it!" You told my friend to stop it because you said you're gonna kill Victor, because I was like 15, but I looked like I was 11. And then I was bobbing and weaving, and I hit him back, and then he said, "Okay, you better stop it before you kill your friend." But afterwards, you came up to me. He said, "Hey, that was pretty nice. I like how you defended yourself." So I always had that memory of you, and I always wondered where you went, because I never had a teacher like you.
Well, I tell you, I had a good time teaching at Berkeley High. It was fun. It was something every summer I had to teach, right? You know, you got to keep those gigs going so you can pay the bills. So Berkeley High, Oakland, I taught fifth graders. I've taught every age, it seems like, juvenile hall. I had so much fun, right? Because you can find something positive in everybody that you're with, right? And if you can give them a glimmer of hope or an opportunity, isn't that what's so good, right? When the success stories that you hear. And sometimes you have failures, no doubt. People are so angry with you over time, right? And you get that, and you go, okay, can I be better at it? You know, but, you know, I think that's what we do at Laney. And I think that I got to be the poster boy of it, in essence, or poster man. But I think that all the people that I work with are just phenomenal, you know. I mean, Tony, what you do, Janelle, all of you, you know, Nate, I mean, it's just amazing what we give to our students every day in our community. You know, I just wish more people could see it. I wish they could show more. You know, Judy Juanita taking the time to explain these things to the guys, right? And even when it's so funny, when he plagiarized, right, you know, she could have booted him out of the class, but she turned it into a teaching moment. And it was, you know, and he told me, I talked to him yesterday, and I don't know if Judy's on here or not, but he's at Murray State, and he walked into class, and the first thing the teacher said, "Hey, we will kick you out if you've plagiarized. So come ask for help first." And so it turned it into a light moment. And so, you know, our kids come from schools, Oakland schools, Berkeley schools, or whatever, that maybe they haven't learned about plagiarism totally. And so we try to talk about it, but he actually got a teachable moment, and it singed him, but it didn't burn him. Right. And I think those are the things that we do. We understand. And so, I mean, I'm just so proud to be in Oakland, so proud to be at Laney and what we all do. And I think we should all embrace it as best that we can and find the shining pieces that we could. You know, Marla, you're a filmer. So why don't we do a whole thing about all the different people at Laney and what they do to folks, right? How do we make that happen, you know, to let everybody see, instead of the negative things they see in the press about us, what can we do to see outstanding teaching happening, outstanding transformation of young people, right? So it doesn't have to just be about us, me, or Rob, or Sakai, or Josh, or Jeff, or any of the people that we have, you know. I mean, Vicki opens the door for allowing me to bring a social worker in to our football and athletic program. Openly allowed that to happen, right? And this woman was phenomenal. But again, you know, she didn't shut me down when I brought it to her. She embraced it and let me, you know, bring it. And I think that's what we do, right? You know, we have so many people have great ideas, you know, we can't stymie them. Let's bring them forward, right? And let them like I told Janelle, she wanted to do all these things her first tenure, and everybody said, you can't. I said, why not? Let her see how much she can do. If she can do 10 things, more power to her. If she can only do 2, she'll learn that she can only commit herself to 2. But she'll never know that unless we allow her to. That was my contribution to your TRC. I remember that.
Hey, Coach,
A couple things.
We are already at 1 o'clock and we have other sessions to go, but I just wanted to, one, thank you. Thank you for doing the session.
Thank you.
And people are asking if there's another way to see it that's not via Netflix. And the other question is, are they considering maybe doing like an addendum, like an extra thing that shows where they are now, even now, like an extra addition since this one was so popular.
Yeah, I think that they do a lot. Netflix will bring some more stuff out too, right? I mean, they'll do a follow-up at some point. Well, if we ever get through pandemic, so I don't know, but yeah, it'll be interesting. I just want to thank you all for what you all do. So, every one of you is a star. And I think, we need to acknowledge that. So I want to make sure that you all know that I feel that everybody at Laney is a star. And we've got a great galaxy. So thank you again. Stay safe. And I'm sorry my Zoom wasn't great, but hey, I got a virtual background for a minute, Vicki. First time.
We got to figure it out in the end. That was cool.
Hey, we're selling shirts, Oaklandish shirts. If you want them, go to Oaklandish.
Oh, right on, right on. Oh, that's cool. Yay. That is good to know.
Yeah, Oaklandish was pretty fired up.
Thank you very much. Thanks for attending, everybody. We have other sessions. Hope you can make those too. And Coach, what we can do is talk to the district, because they have a full-time staff of about 4 people who make films they're supposed to make films for the Peralta district. That's what they're paid to do. So rather than have my very beginner students who they pick their own projects, I don't say you got to do this. So they propose their own projects, but I can certainly influence them.
Well, I don't know what it is. I mean, I just think that we have so much positive that people don't, I mean, obviously negatives are sell papers, right? Or whatever, right? But we could have a feel-good story,
We do have many that our students have made. And at our film festival every year, we do show all those films.
Cool.
So,
all right.
we have one that's actually going to be shown on Peralta Gyms, but we definitely
okay, cool.
on the good stuff, right? All right.
Tony,
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Tony, you safe and doing well?
I'm going to stop recording so you guys can talk. Hold on.
Thank you.
Yeah, Coach, I'm doing